We are at a point inside Faction Wars Hard where it's really starting to showcase some of the weaknesses that you might have on your particular account. In my case, at least, that's going to be orcs, undead hordes, and Ogryn tribes. Ogryn tribes is a big one, but we're back here today. We're going to be progressing through Faction Wars Hard once again. We have stages 10 through 12 open for the Banner Lords, and we have stages 7 through 9 that are going to be open for the Lizardmen. So we're going to see if we can't do this. We're going to start with the Banner Lords, stage 10. The challenge is to use at least 3 epic champions, which should be pretty easily done. We're going to bring Stagnite, Ursala, and we're also going to bring Gizcard the Sigiled, so we can go ahead and pretty much just throw this on auto. Worst case scenario, somebody dies, Ursala can bring them back, but I mean, Taurus is going to be sitting here just absolutely clapping people, right? And hey, the cool thing is they apparently have Nishak on their team, so we don't even have to worry about Nishak because we have Marichka, and she can just place a block damage as soon as the bombs go up. So Taurus and Marichka are obviously very, very strong for this faction. At some point, I'm going to rearrange my microphone here a little bit. At some point after I, progress a decent amount through this content for myself on my own account, I'm probably going to start to make guides on how to beat particular stages. So that'll include obviously the boss stages where it's beaten within certain turns, but it's also going to include as well the non-boss stages. So this is a very easy one. Bring Taurus, Marichka, you're done. The constant counterattacks from their AoEs is going to be enough to get the job done. We also have very decent resistance on pretty much every single champion because I'm at level 9, I think, inside the Great Hall for my Faction Wars resistance, combined with the combined with the regular resistances that you would get from something like the classic Great Hall, right? So very, very good combination there. You can get, I think, like, what is it, like 150 resistance maybe in total, 160, something like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So make sure that you're working on your Great Hall if you're struggling with Faction Wars Hard. And this will be kind of the point where I do my whole YouTube spiel, but channel memberships are live. Go ahead and hit the join button down below if you want to get a part of that, or get in on that, however you want to say it. Also, make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are pushing close to the 2,500 subscribers here in mid-2025, so the goal is 100 a month, and we are so close to being on track for that. Obviously, so this is being recorded on the 30th, and we have only 30 days, I think, this month. I haven't even checked. No, sorry, 31. So we're close. We're close. We're at almost 2,500. So as long as we can get to the 2,500 sometime in June, we are good. That being said, we've gotten ourselves 3 Spiteful Remains, and we're now going to the next stage. So this one is to defeat all enemies when they have no buffs on them. That's kind of annoying. So let's see if we have anybody who can do block debuffs, or block buffs rather. We don't. So we're really just going to have to depend on some CC here to get this job done, I think. So we'll actually go ahead and we'll get rid of Ursala, and we'll bring in Archmage, and then, yeah, I think that should work. So Gizcard and Archmage cycling together, we should be able to go ahead and make sure they don't have any buffs. I'm going to go ahead and do this manually, though, just to be sure. This is also kind of very annoying where they have the Gaius, the Gleefles on the team now. Taurus just absolutely claps everybody, though, so that's perfect. We don't have any auto placement of buffs, which is good, so we're not dealing with, like, Ramantus or something like that. Who can buff here? I don't really think any of them can, right? So we're just going to take out the Skimfos. Not quite, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and try to get a stun out here. So get some stuns across the board there. I'm going to go ahead and buff up here. Teodor, I don't think, can place any sort of buffs. He's just going to debuff us. Actually, sorry, he does have an increased speed, doesn't he? So that's a bit problematic. We're going to have to wait and see if we can outcycle that increased speed here. I should have used the provoke on him when I had the chance, but it is what it is. We're just going to go ahead and buff up. We're going to hope that the Taurus counterattack doesn't clap anyone. We're still good. Skimfos hasn't died somehow. Magnar might get clapped here, though. He does. We failed the challenge. Alright. Let's go ahead and try a skin, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try it again. So we got to be careful with the Teodors. Completely slipped my mind that he can place the increased speed. Right as he placed it, I was like, oh shit, he can actually do that, can he? Let's go ahead and clap. Taurus does crazy damage on his A3. He's like a Giga Chad Seer, right? Because she bases her damage off of how many buffs are removed when she's doing the damage. He bases his damage off of how many buffs there are, but he also doesn't remove them, and as a matter of fact, he extends the duration of any buffs that you have on your team, so he's absolutely wild. Let's go ahead and make sure the Skimfos doesn't get a turn. Let's go ahead and whack into the Magnar here. Let's go ahead and buff up. Go ahead and get some more buffs as well as some heals. We're going to go ahead and provoke everybody here. There we go. We actually land the provoke on everybody. That's huge. Look at that. And then, yeah, let's just go ahead and whack into the Sissia here. Whack the Sissia again. Really just don't want to deal with her BS, so we'll go ahead and just make sure that she sits down. The series is doing pretty good on YouTube so far, by the way. I'm decently happy with the performance of this, and I've noticed that there's a lot of people that are becoming consistent supporters of the series as well. We have to be careful here because Skimfos actually has some buffs on him, so we have to make sure he doesn't die. At least not, you know, not that we don't control. He doesn't have the option to fill turn meter or anything, so let's just go ahead, ally attack here into the... He has 2 turns of buffs, though, which is annoying as hell. Do we have a remove buff champion inside the Banner Lords? I can't even think if we do, but Skimfos might die here, which is something that we don't want, especially if he does his AoE. God damn it, Skimfos. Work with me, man. Work with me. Let's see. We're going to go by other effects, positive effects, remove debuffs. Let's do negative effects then, apparently. Remove buffs. What do we have? Apparently Quintus has it. Removes all buffs. Yes, okay, on his A2. So we could use Quintus. We do also have the Sigmund, who has it on his A1. But I think the Quintus is probably going to be a better way to go. That being said, though, he's not really built, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to do Fitting Room. We're just going to throw some, like, damage gear on him, really. So some crit damage gear would be pretty much perfect. Max out his crit rate. An okay amount of attack on there. Not too much speed. Nothing crazy. We'll throw him in place of the Archmage. So we'll do something like this. That way, if somebody does get some sort of a buff, we can just go ahead and remove it with him, right? So, you know, that's fun to consider. Archmage wasn't bringing a ton of CC anyways, so we're not really too worried about that. Let's go ahead and A1 here. Big damage coming in from the Quintus. 3k hits. That's crazy. That is absolutely wild. But he's not built for damage, so it is what it is. I built him at a time when all my stone skin gear was on, like, He-Man and whatnot, so obviously he's not really going to do anything. We're neutral affinity here, but unfortunately we don't land the provokes. We're going to go ahead and just start whacking the Skimfos because I really don't want him to get a turn and buff up like we seen on the last run, so we're just going to make sure that he does not have the option to do that. Let's go ahead and do this. You know what? Quintus can actually hit pretty hard, like when he has a proper team surrounding him. So you can't rag on him too much, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and debuff him here. The Magnar is going to sit down. Let's go ahead and clap the Sissia as well. We don't really need to worry too much about what this isn't this. I just noticed that he sat my Quintus down. That was going so well, ladies and gentlemen. That was going so well, and then Quintus just got absolutely clapped. Let's try this again. We'll do this, and then we'll do this. Get the AoE with the Taurus. The block damage for the bombs is perfect. We're going to go ahead and just boost up here. We're going to go ahead and attack here. We got the extra turn proc, which is huge. Absolutely huge. So we can go ahead and A1 again, which will give us more turn meter fill. We're going to push back on the Teodor. We're going to clap the Teodor. And then we're going to go ahead and just do the AoE with the Quintus. Quintus has, like, no HP, by the way, so we do have to be careful of, like, Drang, that's his name. We do have to be careful of Drang getting a turn, because look at that. He just straight up claps him. So we're going to go ahead and heal up here. Sissia does get a turn. Skimfos, we're going to make sure does not get a turn. So we're just going to go ahead and keep whacking him whenever able. Let's go ahead and get an increased defense up. Let's go ahead and do this on the Skimfos. Let's go ahead and do this. The ally attack with a decreased defense should be enough to take him down. In fact, it is. Go ahead and get that decreased attack. Magnar doesn't do a whole lot. We're going to take out Drang here as well, just to make sure that he can't do any sort of craziness to my... Okay, there we go. So, we're going to go ahead and boost up. We're going to go ahead and... you can place buffs, which will be annoying. Everybody here can place buffs, actually. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We don't take anybody out. That's fantastic. Yeah, everybody on this enemy team can place buffs, by the way. Yeah, especially the Revive on Death. That's not what we want to see. And the challenge is failed, ladies and gentlemen. This is annoying. You know what? Taurus, Marichka may actually be a bit of a weakness here. So we're going to bring Archmage. I don't have Sir Artemage built, but he is a crazy damage dealer. I do have him booked. I don't have him mastered or anything, though. So we're going to bring Sir Artemage, and we're going to bring Sigmund, the High Shield. So we have a decent bit of damage here, as well as obviously a lot of CC. So we're going to go ahead and try this. Very annoying having to deal with Taurus's auto counterattacks there. Because obviously we just can't control who's getting hit, right? And that's pretty much the biggest issue, so... Go ahead and do this. Try to get some stuns out there. We have a bomb placed on us, which is annoying, but we do have block damage, so that's okay. The Candraphon gets a buff, which is protected, which is some bullshit. Some bullshit. This is actually a bit of a tougher stage. This is a bit of a tougher challenge than I thought it would be. Let's go ahead and try this again. Okay. What we're going to do. We're going to bring in Taurus instead of Gizcard. Because Gizcard is not even really that built. So then we should be able to cycle Archmage and Sigmund pretty effectively to essentially just ensure CC across the waves. So I think we should be okay on that front. We'll go ahead and boost up here. We'll go ahead and push back there, as well as get the decreased speed, and then we'll clap them. There it is. We're going to go ahead and try to get the AoE provokes. We do get the provokes everywhere it matters. We're going to buff up. Increase crit rate, crit damage. Oh, and he gets the buffs on him. That's so annoying. So annoying. Oh well. We'll just target some other people here. He's going to get clapped with the AoE, though, if he... Or with Taurus, if he AoEs us, so we do have to be careful of that. We get the stun on him, which is actually perfect, so now we can kind of wait out that increase attack. And additionally, he does have it for 2 turns on the buffs, which is annoying. Plarium definitely knew what they were doing here. Because he places the buffs automatically on himself, I think, when he takes a turn, right? That's Skimfos' thing, I'm pretty sure. So that's some horse shit, because he's going to do the AoE to us right away, and then just absolutely clap us. Let's go ahead and try to remove one of those buffs. We do get the removal. Go ahead and buff up. I don't think there's much we can do, though, to be honest. Because he's going to AoE. Unless we can... we kill him, though. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Let's go ahead and try this again. I'm just trying to think how to do this. Like, we don't really have a buff strip. Nobody that's built, at least, apart from, obviously, Quintus, right? We don't really have enough CC to do this, because every time he gets a turn... You know what? I think we just have to do enough damage to that wave to be able to deal with it, because we can CC the rest of them. Yeah, so I think we'll try this again. We're going to take out the Skimfos first, because I've been taking out the Theodore because I've been worried about his increased speed. But we don't really need to worry about that, right? Because we can just, like, you know, provoke him or whatever. So we're going to see if we can't provoke him. If we do provoke him, we can then just clap the Skimfos and then not have to worry about his buffs at all. So we're going to push back there. We're going to clap the Skimfos. We don't quite clap him. We're going to go for the provoke. We do land the provokes. Now let's go ahead and do this, and then Archmage should be able to take him out, so that's perfect. Everybody else gets stunned, which is also perfect. We'll go ahead and attack the Magnar. Raid Shadow Legends in 2025 has just turned into a roguelike game, by the way. That's all this gameplay loop is now, which is pretty crazy. And then, yeah, I'm kind of liking my video format where I try my best to push through this content on screen for you guys, but then obviously if it's, you know, just too difficult or whatnot, I essentially just upload the screenshots later of how I managed to beat it. The only downside with that really is obviously you guys won't get to see like the builds or anything like that in depth at least, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and whack there. I really don't want him getting the increased speed off, so hopefully Taurus can clap him down. He does. That's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take out a Drang. We're going to go ahead and just save up our skills here. We do counterattack the Sisia. We do have Taurus's big nuke, though, so we should be bumping here. We should be bumping. I don't think there's really anybody who can survive a good Taurus blast apart from maybe Eric's. Granted, we also don't have many buffs on our team, so yeah, he doesn't do really shit, does he? We get AoE provoke, though, which is perfect. Now, we're also going to go ahead and try to get an AoE stun here just to make sure they don't even get to take their turns. We get the counterattacks. We get the counterattack. We're going to go ahead and buff up. I'm really just worried about... There we go. Remove the buff off of her. Let's go ahead and take out Golden Reaper here because I know she can buff up as well. Let's go ahead and buff up here. Buff up again. The AoE is going to result in her almost getting taken out. My goodness. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit into the Madame Cerise. I forget what the effect is where she places a buff on herself every time she takes a turn or something like that, right? Let's go ahead and whack that, though. The good thing about it is she does just place a shield on herself. Eric's is going to be able to place an annoying-ass ally protection and whatnot, though, so we'll just take her out. But yeah, Saris just places a shield on herself. So obviously that's pretty easily dealt with, right? We just need to do damage to the shield. And then that's like, you know, it is what it is. She's done. So we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. We take down the stage. We're on to the next one. We're on to stage 12. Place 15 plus stun debuffs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bit of an annoying one too, but we do have Archmage and we have Taurus's A2, which, I mean, let's be honest, Taurus's A2 isn't really meant to just be placing stuns. We're going to go ahead and AoE drop defense, though, and then we're going to go ahead and place some provokes, and then we're just going to go ahead and clap the Elva so she can't debuff remove. Then we're going to go ahead and whack into Gala, place some stuns here, so we got 3 stuns placed already. Gala just did a very interesting animation on her A1. Let's go ahead and push back turn meter there. Buff up. Taurus can go ahead and whack into the Oella. We're going to go ahead and buff up with Archmage. Whack into the Oella. Ideally, actually, we might bring another DPS unit here besides Taurus, because Taurus is going to be, again, a little bit too good at just taking people out, considering that we need those stuns placed, right? So we're going to take Taurus out. We're going to bring in, I'm thinking Rathalos, because he can still do decent damage. He can place decreased defense. He can do AoEs. We have Brimstone on him as well if we need for some extra damage at a 3-star awakening, so we just need to make sure that obviously the Elva isn't able to cleanse here, so let's go ahead and try to provoke. If we get the provoke AoE, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and whack in here, get the AoE's stuns. We get 3 stuns placed again. Let's go ahead and whack in here. I was hoping for the decreased defense on him, but it is what it is. We need to be careful. Elva now has no CC on her, so if we could get some CC there, that'd be perfect. We decrease in her turn meter a lot, though, so that's awesome. Let's go ahead and just keep A1ing her here. I think we might be in trouble, though. I'm pretty sure Elva's going to get to place her annoying-ass shit. Maybe not. Stag Knight comes in clutch with the kill. Let's go. We're getting kind of clapped now, though, by this team. Got the increased resistance. Ooh, that could have been bad if those were critical hits. We're going to go ahead and buff up here, though. Marichka has her big shield available, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's get the decreased defense on the Oella here. We're going to go ahead and try to remove a buff from her. Nope, not quite. AoE defense break, we do get it, which is nice. We have a buff removal come in from them, which is very annoying. We've almost got taken out there on the Archbishop. I'm going to go ahead and ally attack onto the Gala as well. Let's go ahead and try for that stun here. So we'll target the Oella, try to stun everybody else, which we do land a couple of them. So we're now at 4 stuns landed, which is not too terrible. Try for a provoke here would be nice. Do land it on a couple of them. Oella annoyingly resists it though. Let's take out Oella. Why not? Let's go ahead and whack into you. Again, hoping for that decreased defense on him. Because obviously that'll make him do a lot less damage because Michinaki is a defense-based champion. Now, here's kind of an interesting thing about Raid Shadow Legends, right? Champions are always way better until you have them. Because I was super excited to pull Michinaki because I knew he was a decent champion for Hydra and whatnot. And now I have him built out. I don't even use him, man. I don't even use him. It's crazy. I probably should be, but I don't. Go ahead and go for some stuns here. We do land 2 more stuns. We're already at 6, which is perfect. We're in an A2 on the Gala there, 55k. Obviously, Rathalos can do decent damage. I don't have him in like a crazy damage build or anything like that. He's in kind of just like whatever mishmash of gear I can find laying around in the storage. I'll go ahead and hit the Michinaki. Get the Brimstone on him, which is kind of nice. Ugh. My nose is a bit runny, ladies and gentlemen. We do take him out there with the Stagnite. Now, we do have to be careful about this wave. We got some cleansers on here, which is kind of annoying. Gonna go ahead and try to get a provoke, though, which we do land, so that's perfect. We're at 6 stuns placed. Let's go ahead and whack into the Podrig. Try to stun everybody else, which we do land on pretty much everybody. So we got 8 of them placed. We're going to go ahead and whack into the Elva here. We really just want to try to start clapping her down, but I don't know if we're going to get to. She's going to place a veil on herself. We're going to go ahead and boost. I'm going to go ahead and go here. I swear, Marichka seems to get like boosted rates from Relentless. She gets the Relentless procs so damn often. It's pretty crazy. We're going to go ahead and buff up here. Go ahead and get the AoE. 8 stuns placed. We're going to go ahead and buff up. Push back on Podrig would be nice, but we don't get it. We do get the increased resistance coming in with them, which is annoying. Podrig can do an ally attack, I think, as well, can he? Something crazy like that. And, annoyingly, we get the block debuffs up from the Elva as well, so we're just going to have to sit here and cycle some turns while we wait for that to fall off. That's okay, though. I'm sure we'll probably survive. Yeah, and they're healing up, which is good. Like, there's a lot of heals coming in. And yes, in fact, he can do an ally attack that takes out my Rathalos. No. No. We're going to bring in Taurus again, just because I want to have that damage available. But needing to place this many stuns with a Taurus in the team is no easy feat, certainly. Alright, so we got everybody provoked, everybody that matters at least, so we can just go ahead and A1 with a Taurus. We don't need to do his big clapping abilities. Go ahead and get that. That was like 3 stuns landed there. I thought it was more, but that's okay. Gonna go ahead and boost up. Then we'll whack into the Oella. She can take a couple of hits. She's a tanky gal. Keep hitting the Oella. Duden decides to AoE us, which obviously never really goes well for him. Because we have a Taurus in the team, ladies and gentlemen. We have a Taurus. We're going to go ahead and buff up. Go ahead and whack the Oella. We're just going to go ahead and whack her again because we got Relentless proc there, which is quite nice. We do have the block debuffs that goes up because I forgot about the Elva being able to do that, considering that she's hanging out here with us. I forgot she was even alive at this point, but it is what it is. Let's try to remove a buff here. Resisted. Unfortunately, we don't have the accuracy to do it. We had triple hit on the Archmage there. It is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and buff up. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We actually get another turn as well. Elva is still just hanging out with us, by the way. I don't know what the strategy is here from her, but and she revives. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. On the plus side, at least our champions don't have to go far to hit her. Right? Like, she's just kind of right there. That's her final resting spot, I guess. The Michinaki decided that he wanted a piece of us, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and remove, and that should give us not quite an extra turn, apparently. I'm going to go ahead and A1 here. Duden getting the taunt up is quite annoying. We do remove a buff from him. I'm not sure what exactly we removed, but we just need to wait for the block debuffs to fall off here, and then we're good to go ahead and try to stun again with the Archmage. Granted, with that taunt up, it's going to be annoying as well because we're weak affinity, but hey, we do land it. We don't land any stuns. So that is absolutely sensational, ladies and gentlemen. We are at 3 stuns placed. Boom. Same kind of thing that we're talking about as usual, though. I may end up just skipping this stage for now and then sharing the team later on the community tab. We're going to see if we can't get it done this run, though. This is going to be the last run to attempt it, but, you know, if people keep, if people get clapped too often by the Taurus Marichka counterattacks like this, you know, it's a blessing and a curse having them on the team. It's a blessing and it's a curse, you know. It is what it is. It makes some of the stages super easy. It makes some of the stages super hard, you know. What can I say? What can I say? Beat it, toots, you know. Let's just go ahead and whack in here again. I think Duden's probably going to die. I wish there was a champion tanky enough that we could actually just, like, whack with Taurus's A2. So that he had the chance to place the stuns. But, unfortunately, I don't think anybody on this team is surviving if we do an A2 on them. And then if they do survive, they probably have a high resistance that they're going to resist it anyways, because Taurus does not have much accuracy. He has like 100 and something accuracy, I think. He's built to be a DPS unit. Obviously, he's not really built to be a debuffer, so not really been too worried about how much accuracy I got on my Taurus. But that being said, let's go ahead and stun. Perfect. We get the stun. So we're going to go ahead and just start whacking down the Oella now here. That places us at 4 stuns after the first wave, because, I mean, we're probably going to clear this wave pretty quickly now. Or try to, at least. So we may have to go through this manually, as much as I may not like to. But it is what it is. So we're just going to get to the next wave here. Make sure we're just A1 cycling, so we have everybody's cooldowns good to go. There it is. Stagnite gets the kill. On to the next stage here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to boost up and get an extra turn, which is crazy. Now, we're going to go ahead and do push back on the Pod Drag. We're going to go ahead and do an A2 on the Elva. We're going to go ahead and do an AoE Provoke, where we don't even take down the Elva, so that's actually pretty cool. We're going to go A2 on the Elva. AoE, we do get the stun on everybody, so that's 7 of them placed now. We're actually kind of cooking. Might be off to the races here. Poddrag is not very tanky, though, so we don't want to hit him. We're going to prefer to hit the Oella, because she's a lot more tanky. As you can see, just a lot more HP on her and whatnot. We don't want any AoEs coming in, though, so if possible, we're going to make sure that Samson doesn't get a turn. Because if he does, he's going to do his AoE, and then we're going to get the counterattack from the Taurus, and then he's going to be sat down. So if we get another Provoke or something here, that'd be perfect, but I doubt we're going to get it. Stun lands on us, which is unfortunate. 7 stuns placed so far. We're going to keep hitting him. Keep boosting our turn meter. There we go. Perfect. Stun on the Taurus. Thank you, Samson. It's crazy when you're actually, like, sitting here hoping for a stun on your team. That's the stage of Raid Shadow Legends that we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually going to leave Taurus stunned as well. We're not even going to bring him out of the stun. But that being said, we are going to go ahead and try to get another good old AoE stun here. So let's hit the Gala. Boom. Secondary hit. Places 1 stun, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. So we have to place 7 more stuns, ladies and gentlemen. We're just over halfway there. Whoa, we're halfway there. Let's go ahead and hit the Oella. We do have stuns on the Samson, which is nice. Gonna go ahead and buff up here with the Archmage. Gonna go ahead and buff up here again with the Sigmund. Let's go ahead and A1 here with the Samson, or the A1 the Samson, I should say. If we can leave these guys alive and just turn meter cycle enough that we can place another stun, that would be perfect. Because we have nobody on the... There we go. There's the heal we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have nobody on the enemy team who is who's capable of placing a block debuffs. So I do actually want to get the Taurus stunned, but he's not working with us so far. We do have the stun available once again. Let's go ahead and hit it. Boom, boom. We do get 2 more stuns, it looks like. So we're at 10 of them placed now, ladies and gentlemen. We are slowly getting there. Let's go ahead and try to push back on the Oella. We get a decreased speed at least. Let's go ahead and get that provoke, which we do land on everybody except Oella. Come on. Give me the stun on the Taurus. Come on, that's what we need. Oh, come on. Counterattack. That's going to hit the Marichka, though, right? Not the Taurus. No, it does hit the Taurus. There we go. Let's go. Stunned on the Taurus. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and just A1 here into the Gala. What's very nice as well, obviously, is Stag Knight's passive, where he can place like the increased accuracy as soon as you miss a debuff, which is pretty cool. 3 turns in a row with the Marichka, by the way. That's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and push back here. Don't quite have our stun ability up yet. Continuous heal, ally attack into the Sigmund. My god, man. Alright, you know the deal. We're going to do it off camera. I'm going to share it on the YouTube posts section. That's the deal. On to Lizardmen. We got the Lizardman boss. Clear the stage in 100 turns. Which boss is this? Steals all buffs. Exchanges HP with the target enemy with the highest HP. Convert active buffs. So yeah, we're really just wanting to bring damage. And we're wanting to bring some TM control. All those sorts of good things. My Ramen 2 does have some gear. Let's go ahead and see if we can't throw a banner on him, though. He has plenty of accuracy, so an HP speed banner is going to be perfectly fine. Necmo, is he even built? He is kind of built. He's not that fast, though. So we're going to take out Necmo, and we're going to bring in Aox instead, I think. And then let's go ahead and try this. We do need to beat this in 100 turns, so we'll see if we can do that. This is an annoying-ass wave to go against. And we don't have crazy damage in here, but I hope it's going to be enough damage to be able to do some dirty things. The Shaman resisted the sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have strong DPS from this faction. I do have a Dracomorph who I could build out at some point. He's pretty crazy for this kind of content. I have 2 Dracomorphs, actually. I do have Slixus as well. Slixus is probably going to make his way in here again because he's an absolute MVP, as you guys have seen time and time again, for doing damage. And obviously we need a lot of damage on this wave. So Slixus is going to make his way in. He's going to replace Fushan, actually, I think will be the best way to do it, right? Yeah. Maybe. Probably. We could do Chigur, who has a attack in all battles. That might be the way to go. Another nice little 33% increase for our Slixus. Let's go ahead and buff up. Let's go ahead and get the AoE here. Let's go ahead and just whack into the Shaman. Now, unfortunately, he is very fast. So, let's see. 251 on the speed. What is our Chigur at? 213, ladies and gentlemen. This man is slow. Slow. Can we get some attack boots from the lethal set instead of speed boots? That'd be pretty cool if we could. Speed. That doesn't even make him slow enough. Alright, let's do this. Let's go down to lethal again. See if there's some attack boots we can put on. I don't generally keep attack boots, as you can see. Apparently. So, if we just take the boots off, right? So let's do like these two pieces. Go to lethal, see if we can find some replacement gear. Something that'll still give us good crit rate. So less speed there, less attack though as well, which is a kind of a bummer. Let's do that. Right, and then even for the shield, do we have something that just has less speed on it? All these have way more speed, my goodness. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip this. And then we'll just take off his boots. Like that. So that should make him slow enough now. Yeah, that should make him plenty slow. So he's going to be behind the Chigurh now. Meaning that he's going to go when the enemy has decreased defense, which will be perfect. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Push back their turn meters. Go ahead and get the defense break. And then we'll go ahead and just do an AoE slam. Boom! Not as much damage as I was hoping for, ladies and gentlemen, but that's okay. That's what it is. We're going to try this again. We're going to try this again. I am not going to lie. I am very tired. It is late at night. I don't know how much patience I have to sit here and try to run this again, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just trying to think, because we have the decreased defense on them. There's not much more that we can do in terms of damage amplification, but what I think we might do is just, we'll open with Ramantu's A2 to get the True Fear on everyone. Which we don't, of course, because she resists the 4th debuff, because why wouldn't she? Even though we have plenty of accuracy. And that 3% really just came through and cucked us. There we go. Now we're going to push back. We're going to get the defense break. Shaman does not resist the sleep this time, so that's perfect. We're going to go ahead and get the A2 on Neldor. Almost kill him. Not quite, though. If we had attack boots on this guy, we could put attack boots on this guy, actually. What am I doing? Let's do this. Let's do this proper, right? So, Slixus, my man, we want... I don't care, man. Just get out of my way. We want attack. We want to hide set filters, right? What do we got? Do we have attack boots that don't have speed on them? These will be perfect. These will do fine, right? That's what we're looking for. Still makes him slower than the Chigurh. Gives him a bunch more attack. We should be off to the races here, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and buff up. Let me go ahead and get that A2. Let me guess. One resisted? No, not quite. Not quite. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're going to go ahead and get that AoE break. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and get the AoE slam. There it is. There's some better damage. There's some better damage. Now we just need to make sure she doesn't take a turn. There it is. Perfect. Neldor gets a turn, which is kind of annoying, but he is True Feared, which is perfect. Now we can just go ahead and A1 him. We can go ahead and do this. Now, I don't know if we'll be able to do this within the turn count. But you know what? We're certainly going to try. We're certainly going to try. Let's go ahead and whack into the Kaja. We take her out. That's perfect. Those attack boots are really coming in handy on the Slixus. Obviously, Slixus only having the one AoE ability is going to kind of slow us down. But we're really just going to have to hope on having some boss killing abilities, I guess, once we get there. Get the sleep on everybody. We're going to go ahead and hit the A1 here on the Mistress. Pythion takes her down. We are a quarter of the way through. I think we have all our big money abilities available, though. So let's go ahead and whack into the Lightsworn here. Get the AoE True Fear. Decrease. Get the defense break. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and hit the AoE. Boom. Don't quite take anybody out, but we should have enough CC here to not worry about it too much. There we go. We do get the sleep. That's all I was worried about. We're taking him out with the Chigurh as well, which is perfect. Which is very nice, actually, because obviously if you take them out with Chigurh, it counts as, you know, you taking them out on their turn. Which means that you're not, you know, getting 2 turns, essentially, to do that. So that's nice. And you get the A1. We'll take him out. We're 39 turns. We have 61 turns to try and defeat the boss, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can probably do it. Fingers crossed, at least, right? Let's go ahead and do this. Block active skills. We'll get the decrease up here. Now, what's annoying about this boss is obviously, as you've seen, he has the 50% chance to just turn any negative buff you might throw at him into a positive buff, which is very annoying to deal with. But let's go ahead and just whack in here, get some heals on our Slixus. Luckily, we do have a revive as well if needed, which we will use right now, even though we probably shouldn't have, because I have a feeling Slixus is about to get clapped, but it is what it is. We get more provokes coming in. This is very annoying. Slixus does take himself down with his A1, unfortunately, and then our dear friend, Mr. Chigurh, gets taken out as well. This is going to be the one and only attempt of this stage, ladies and gentlemen. If this doesn't work, you'll have to check the YouTube hosts for this, because there's been talks of watching a movie tonight with the girlfriend, so, you know, priorities. Priorities. We got some poisons on the boss, which is decent. We're not doing this in 100 turns, though, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing this in 100 turns. We have the AoE revive from the Pythion straight into the AoE provoke from the Templar. A buffed up version of Templar, by the way. The actual Templar doesn't even have an AoE provoke. I think it's like a 3x hitter with a chance of a provoke. It's crazy. Craziness, man. Let's go ahead and do this on the boss, though. We get all of the debuffs up, which is perfect. Throw back some turn meter. Gonna go ahead and heal. Gonna go ahead and strip, but we do get feared, unfortunately. We're gonna heal everybody here. Go ahead and strip again. There it is. Block active skills is exactly what we want. If we can just beat the stage, I will be happy with that. Obviously, our Pythion is doing a very good job resisting as well, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and get the AoE revive here. Straight into the AoE provoke. That is fucking annoying. Oh, goodness. This is annoying. We need the cleanse. There it is. Big heals coming in as well. Alright. He can't revive, can he? No, he cannot. So we're going to go ahead and just whack in here and do, like, fuck all, because they are ungodly tanky, apparently. We're going to get block actived on the Ramen 2, which is a bit annoying. We do have some... There we go. There we go. We got a decreased defense going up, which means that Chigurh is going to have a chance to CC them whenever they try and take a turn, which is absolutely perfect. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just A1 here. Get a stun, which is perfect. Chigurh places a sleep on him, which is pretty awesome. We're going to go ahead and try to debuff the boss, which we don't do, unfortunately. Decrease some turn meter there, though. Let's go ahead and just hit the A1 on the boss. Let's go ahead and hit the A2 here. There it is. We're going to go ahead and hit the AoE with the Slixus. Some decent damage coming in. I think if we can take out both of these adds, we're sitting in a pretty good spot. Because, I mean, like, the debuffs, it's whatever. It's annoying, but we can deal with that, right? We can just cleanse. We're going to go ahead and strip the buffs from him as well. We get the CC with the Chigurh, which is perfect. We get a counterattack there with Slixus, which is even perfecter. Go ahead and get the A2 with the Slixus. We almost have this add down. Almost, almost, almost. We're going to get the AoE defense break, which will set us up for counterattacks as well. A little bit more damage. Obviously, if you have War Master or something like that on your Chigurh, he's going to do a lot better. I think we're just going to go ahead and put it on auto from here, though. Again, we're going to miss the 3-star requirement, but it is what it is. I'm always okay just coming back to these factions and finishing that 3-star later. And realistically, at the end of the day, what matters right now is just getting through this content and getting up and farming as high as you possibly can on the stages that you possibly can, because that's where you're going to get your better artifact rewards, so like your relic crafting materials, as well as obviously drops for, you know, perception and whatnot. And on top of that, you're going to get the better glyph drops as well, right? So if we can push up and start farming some of those glyph drops, it's going to inherently make these stages easier, because we can just give stronger glyphs to our champions and get stronger builds to push through the content, right? So it all takes time. And then obviously, as I get my Great Hall farmed up as well, which is going to happen a lot more once the next Alive Arena season comes out, then, you know, I'll probably actually get it maxed during this Great Hall, or during this Live Arena, Kind of just taking a break from Live Arena right now. I was very fatigued from grinding it out so much last season. My win rate was pretty terrible, which meant that I had to grind a lot more than I should have, which kind of, you know, left me a little bit burnt out, unfortunately, but it is what it is, right? Slixus, we don't get the heal there, unfortunately. The Pythion gets feared. We're going to go ahead and try to just do some control here as best we can. Let's go ahead and get some debuffs up on the boss. I didn't even notice he had blocked debuffs. That's unfortunate. Now we get the cleanse, which is nice. He's also got his HP swap ability, so we do have to be careful about that as well, obviously. We're going to go ahead and revive here. And go ahead and heal everybody. Strip off that block debuffs. Put out a decreased defense. Boss takes a turn. Let's go ahead and A1. A2 with Slixus. Heals him up, which is perfect. A1 with Ramen 2. A3 with Chagur, why not? I wish Chagur was built for damage on my account, but alas, he is not. We do need to just make sure that nobody else is dead when the boss goes down as well, so we can still get to 2 stars at least. Although, I mean, realistically, if we're just pushing through content, it's not a huge deal to get the 3 stars either, right? We can always just push through. And there it is. There's the HP swap. We knew it was coming. Now we have 12 turns to go ahead and take him down, which I think we should be able to do here. Let's go ahead and revive. Let's go ahead and get that defense break and some poisons. The poisons are going to help us tick through his HP a little bit easier. The poisons come right back at us, though, unfortunately. Pythion can cleanse, and that's going to be a chunky heal, which is perfect. A2 with the Slixus. Look at that damage, ladies and gentlemen, and that's with a strengthen on the boss as well, which is crazy. Slixus is such a good DPS unit. Somebody in my comments have been like singing his praises for a while and told me to do a review on him, and I was like, you know what? It's an epic damage dealer. What the hell? He can't be that good, right? But look at the damage he's putting out, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you love to see from an epic champion inside Raid Shadow Legends. Let's go ahead and get the revive here. Let's go ahead and get some turn meter pushback. We're going to go ahead and get the A2 with the Slixus. Big damage. Get the A1 with the Ramen 2. We're going to go ahead and do that. That way he can't throw the debuffs back to us, so that's perfect. Slixus counterattack coming in. We're also going to go ahead and heal with the Aox. A3 with the Chagur. We can't really place anything with the Ramen 2's A3. I don't know why I did that. He didn't even have any buffs on him, but whatever. Get some poisons up there. Get the heal. Ramen 2 is going to heal up a little bit. Let's go ahead and A2 with the Ramen 2. Get some debuffs out there. Slixus come in with the A3. Almost chunk him down. Come on, push back that turn meter, baby. Give us another couple turns. That's all we need. Boom. That's whatever. Get the A1. Again, we're going to miss the 100 turns, obviously, but we're going to hit the 2 stars here, damn it. I'm going to go ahead and get a nice chunky heal there, and Slixus is going to finish the job 10 minutes in. There it is. 244 turns, over double what we actually need to get. Slixus coming in with 3.9 million damage. You can't really see that, but this guy's a beast. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the challenges for the next couple stages, because I'll go ahead and talk about how I'm going to beat that, and then I'll just do it off camera and share the show after. So, stages 8 and 9 for Lizardmen. Let's go ahead and take a look. Stage 8, we have to heal our champions by 1 million plus HP. That's going to be easy, obviously. I've talked about this before. I think they actually had a heal. Yeah, they did, by 500,000, and we beat it on like wave 1. So we're bringing in Pythion. We're bringing in Aox. Both of those are absolute healing beasts. If you don't have that, just put your champions inside like regen and lifesteal and that sort of stuff, and they'll do perfectly fine. And then stage 9 is to place stuns. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Debuffs. Let's see if there's any stuns. There's a few. So we have obviously the Slixus A1. We have the Fushan A2 AoE hit, which is pretty good. We have Basilisk, who's fantastic for this, right? So he has a guaranteed stun on the A2 unless he weak hits. And then he's got an AoE A1 where you can put him in a stun set. You have Basatha if you're an absolute freak and want to use him. 4-turn AoE stun. Not a terrible option, certainly. And yeah, you also have Broodlord, who I think places it on his passive, maybe? AoE, 50% stun. Increases to a 85 on enemies under decreased speed. Not a bad option either, actually, especially considering that you could run him with Nekmothar, obviously, right? But that's going to be how I get through it. I'm going to go ahead and show you the builds for these champions real quick as well, because that's something I've been neglecting to do. So here you go. At any point, if you need to see the build in a bit more details, just go ahead and pause the video and you can see what these champions are rocking in terms of gear and stats and all those sorts of good things. So there you go. There's all the champions we used today. That being said, this is a 50-minute video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much if you stuck around to the end. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe, like the video for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.